Hi, I'm Chef Sherry Ronning, and I'm here to make some fried rice for you on the Blackstone Griddle. Fried rice on the Blackstone Griddle is very easy to make. It only takes just a couple minutes. It's pretty versatile. I'm using cooked rice that I just actually cooked a little bit ago, like an hour ago. A lot of controversy about that, whether you have to cook your rice and let it cool. I have done it both ways, and both ways turn out just perfect for me on the Blackstone Griddle. So the only difference that maybe I do different than others, when I boil my rice, I boil it like I'm boiling potatoes in a big pot of water, and I bring it to a boil, add the rice to it, let it cook until it's done, and then I drain it and rinse it and drain it, and I have the colander. So this is what my rice looks like. It's not sticky. I don't like the sticky rice, and it's cooked done. So you don't want it to be like crunchy yet. You want it to make sure that it's cooked done, but you don't want it overcooked because you don't want mushy rice. So we're going to get started. It's very easy to make. We're going to start with the bacon. We're going to put it on the griddle. I just cut the bacon up in little pieces. And with this recipe, you want to make sure that you have everything ready to go. So don't be trying to prep stuff up when you're trying to cook it, because that's not going to work. You just want to make sure everything's ready to go, and it'll only take just a few minutes to cook it up. So I'm going to cook the vegetables, and I'm just going to put some oil on the griddle. So I have the bacon on the one side. I'm going to do the vegetables, cook this at the same time. So the vegetables, you can do any kind of vegetables that you want. I've done it with all different kinds. Today I'm using sliced carrots. I'm using diced celery, broccoli, and onions. But I've used some sauteed zucchini. I've used sliced mushrooms. Just anything that you have. Just look in your fridge, and you can use anything that you want. And also another thing is, I really don't measure a whole lot. I do use just a pack of bacon, which I believe this is a 12-ounce pack of bacon. And then I just cut up an assortment of vegetables, how much ever I want. And so then I'm going to season my vegetables. You're going to season as you go with this recipe. So I'm just using Lowry's and Morton seasoning. You can use salt and pepper. You can use garlic salt. Any flavoring that you want, seasoning you want, is perfectly fine. So I'm just going to spread this out a little bit. And another thing too, you can also use a dome lid if you want to cook your vegetables. It just depends on how fast you want to cook it up. If you use the dome lid, it'll go a lot faster as far as cooking, but we're just going to let this go. So we're cooking with the bacon. You can also add shrimp to this recipe. You can add chicken breast or cooked chicken thigh pieces. I've done that before with chicken stir fry. Made that with chicken fried rice. And you can add any kind of protein to it if you want to make a complete meal with it. I do have my griddle set at medium heat. So you want medium, high heat. Mine griddle gets hot very fast, so I'm just using the medium heat. So this recipe makes a great side dish, or it can be a main meal. You do have the protein, the bacon in there, so it is good as just a main meal also. One thing that I found with fried rice, I like to make a big batch of it because my family loves leftovers. So they actually have fought over the leftovers. They take little containers when we're done and they will hide it in the fridge so that they can have it later. So just make sure you have extras because it does stay in the refrigerator for a couple days, and it's easily warmed up in the microwave, or you can throw it back on the griddle. And it makes a good side dish for later, or a quick meal. It makes it good for your lunches. You can warm it up in the microwave for your lunches. So you're basically going to cook this up till the vegetables are tender. You don't want them mushy, you want them just tender. And then you want the bacon like sort of semi-crispy. So just keep on cooking them. You're eventually going to add them all together. This bacon that I had was not real fatty. I did cut a little bit of the fat off the ends, but it's not real fatty and it's not producing a lot of grease. If I were to have bacon that had a lot of grease, then I would actually, when I'm done cooking it, I would get rid of some of the grease before I started combining it. You don't want your fried rice to be just loaded with grease from the bacon, so, but you want enough to keep it from sticking, from the rice to be sticking onto the griddle. So you're basically just going to let this cook a little bit. It doesn't take too long, so if you have a really hot griddle, it might cook a little bit faster. I just don't want it to overpower and get too done. But I also want to make sure that my bacon is kind of a little bit crispy. I don't want it limp and like half raw. That's one thing I don't like. I like a little bit crispier bacon. So, and at this point my vegetables are tender. My bacon still has a little bit to go yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine the two together, and then I'm going to fry the egg. And so there's going to be a little bit of grease left on the pan from the bacon. We're just going to, it's not like drenched in grease, which if it was, then we'd scoop some of it into the grease trap, but it's not. It's looking pretty good. So we're just going to combine that together. It's looking real good. Getting some nice good color from the vegetables. So we're just going to spread it out a little bit and we're just going to let it cook, and then we're going to focus on the egg. So you can use as many of these or as little as you want. I usually use just a couple of the fried eggs. So we're just going to put it on the griddle. Make sure you don't get any shells. Wipe your hands if you need to. So we're going to, before it gets fried too much, we're going to pop it, and then we're just going to kind of scramble it in. And we're basically just making a scrambled egg. And you're going to cook it till it's just done. You don't want it overcooked. You don't want it undercooked. You want it cooked just till it's done. So a soft scrambled egg is what you want. See, it's looking nice and good. It's not runny, but it's not all brown and like overdone. So then we're going to take that and we're going to add it to this here. And then we're just going to start cooking it all together. We're going to move it more to the middle of the grill. And then now we're going to add the rice to it. So we're just going to take the rice, and again, I didn't measure. I do have this recipe on my website. If you want more exact measurements, you can go there and get the exact measurements. I just cooked up a whole bunch of rice. I actually cooked up more, and we're using rice for something else. So you just add the rice on top. And then if you want to season it again, season it some more. Season it there. And then this is where you add the soy sauce. And again, too, I add a little bit because it is very salty, and then I taste it as I'm going, and then if I need more, then I'll add more to it. So we're just gonna, and as you notice, I didn't add any more grease to it. I didn't add any more oil or anything. There's the bacon in there is going to be good enough. So we're going to stir it all together. And then you're going to basically just fry your rice is what you're doing. Cooking your rice up a little bit. So we're going to spread it out. Just spread it out and let it cook a little bit, and then we're going to stir it. Then we will taste it and see if we need more seasoning to it. We can add more salt, seasoned pepper. We can add more of the soy sauce. So we're just going to give it time to cook a little bit. And we're going to flip it a few more times, let it cook. And then when it looks like you think it's done, then we'll pull it off. So if you like this recipe, please hit the thumbs up button down below. Please subscribe to my page. Come back for more recipes. I have a few other Blackstone Griddle recipes that you should take a look at. Come back often and check out other recipes that I have. You can go to my website, FromMichiganToTheTable.com. I do have a lot of recipes, Blackstone Griddle recipes. I have all kinds of Midwestern cuisine recipes, smoker recipes, so you can go and just take a look around. And if you also Google Blackstone Griddle recipes, you'll see my page, and I have a link there that shows that you can click on that has a whole bunch of Blackstone Griddle recipes all in one location. So we're going to stir this. Ooh, see, it's brown. See the brown? It's getting a little bit golden brown there. So we're just going to stir it, flip it. And see, it's not sticking to the griddle. This is fresh rice that I made like an hour ago, and it is not sticking to the griddle. You just need to make sure that your griddle is seasoned well. I probably wouldn't make this fried rice on a brand new griddle that you've just seasoned. You want to make sure that your griddle is seasoned pretty good before you try this recipe, or else it may stick. I can't guarantee that it won't stick. So We do use a lot of vegetables from the garden that we have out back. So sometimes I like to use zucchini in this. I also like to, you can add peas to it. You can add corn. Pretty much anything. It's up to you what kind of vegetables you want in it. I do prefer to use the long grain white rice that I do cook, boil in water versus, you know, I've not really tested this with minute rice, other kinds of rice. I'm an old-fashioned cook, and that's the way I've always cooked my rice, is just boil a pot of water, throw some rice in there, stir it up till it's till it's done, and then drain it and rinse it. Rinse all the starchiness out. I know I'll probably get slammed for that, but that's just the way I like to do it. I don't like sticky rice. I'm not making a sticky rice dish. That's not what this is about. So that's my preferred method of making rice. I'm thinking that maybe we need to add a little bit more soy sauce, but I'm gonna try it first, see how it is. Yeah, I need more seasoning. Definitely more seasoning. The vegetables are good. The bacon isn't too bad. I'm gonna add a little bit more of all my seasonings. And with the top like this, I'm not actually using very much. I probably had a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half that I just put on there. You want to be very generous with this soy sauce, or very liberal with this soy sauce, because you'll get it'll get salty very quickly and it'll taste off. And you can also, I like the original. You can buy the low sodium if you like. It's up to your preference. So, but just don't add too much is my suggestion. You can always add, but you can't take out. So remember that. You can always add, but you can't take out. So and as you see, the rice still is not sticking to the griddle. I know a lot of people comment about that because they get it, their rice will stick. If you do my recipe correctly, and you won't have it sticking to the griddle. So and it's on your judgment how long you want to cook this. There's no set time. The air temperature is gonna affect how long it's gonna take. The griddle temperature, the size of your griddle. My griddle is hotter on this side than it is on this side. So you know, cooking time is, you go by the looks of how it is and by tasting it, and judgment on how long that you should cook it. So don't go by a set, oh, it's been cooking 10 minutes, it's done. That's not how you want to cook this. So you just got to give it time. Let it do its thing. It is a quick recipe, but don't rush it either. So, and I'm probably at the point where I probably could pull it. I'm just kind of letting it do its thing. I'm going to taste it again. I got some egg, I got some broccoli, I got some bacon, cooked bacon in there with the rice. So let's see how that is. Just make sure you don't burn yourself when you're trying it. It's not too bad, but I think I'm just going to add a little bit more soy sauce. And then I'm just going to stir it in real good. Let it cook just a little bit longer. Try it again. I think that's just about perfect. So I'm just gonna put it in a serving bowl when it's all done. Just take it off your griddle, put it in a serving dish. And I'm actually gonna turn off my griddle. Turn off the gas. And then turn off the rest of the burners. Be careful you don't burn yourself because this is hot. And there you go. Fried rice on your Blackstone griddle within a matter of minutes. It's delicious. It's easy to prepare. You can use it as a side dish or a main dish, and your family will love it, and they will be asking for more and asking for seconds and wanting leftovers the next day. Enjoy. Don't forget to go to my website FromMichiganToTheTable.com and subscribe to my page and like this recipe and come back for more. Have a good day. Bye. So good.